Well, let's take a couple calls here. 274-5297. Thomas Van Flein is our guest. Go ahead, caller. Is that Doug? Yeah, Doug, go.
Yeah, hi, Eddie. Just a couple quick things here. I'm just amazed, though, that, President B.O., as I address him, did he go under so much scrutiny when he wrote his book, Dreams of My Fathers?
What was that? Say that again?
He wanted to know whether or not there was scrutiny for Barack Obama when he wrote his book.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he was, senator and everything, of course, like that at the time. And the second thing is, got all these erroneous ethics complaints are done. As was already briefly said, it's costing money, hand over fist. If there's overruling, say, hey, there's no ethics complaint, all right, person that filed, let him fit the bill. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been told, I don't know, Counselor, if you can confirm this or not, but it's being estimated that the ethics complaints have cost the state of Alaska somewhere between $3 and $5 million now.
I have no idea
right.
if that's the case.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any printout or spreadsheet that details it. I do know this, though. The state of Alaska has had to pay at least 3 separate attorneys, Mr. Daniel, Mr. Petuminous, and Mr. Garrity, and they don't work for free.
What's the going rate? About $200 an hour, $180 an hour?
For someone like Mr. Daniel, probably even closer to $300 an hour.
$300 an hour.
And they do a good job. Those are reputable attorneys, and they do a thorough job, and so that costs money.
Yeah.
Hey, that last guy said that he thinks there might be an ethics act for senators. I got news for you. that doesn't exist. That horse doesn't fly.
274-5297. Reese, you got somebody fair for me? Line 2. I don't know who that is, but caller, go ahead. Gary.
Yeah, Gary. Just wanted to know, you might want to research it a little bit, but Governor Wally Hickel wrote a book while he was governor. The ghostwriter on it was Malcolm Roberts. And then the book sold, and I believe it was called The Owner's State, and he did that while he was governor.
Yeah.
And the book, of course, is still in bookstores today, but it was written as he was governor of the state of Alaska, and it was published and went on sale while he was governor.
Hey, Counselor Thomas Van Flein, are we using that as any sort of precedence in this case?
Well, yes and no. The reason I say no is the Ethics Act has been revised since Wally Hickel was in office.
Okay.
And so we're applying new laws. But the point is well taken. And, for example, there's another governor who wrote a very famous book. Jesse Ventura wrote a book when he was governor of Minnesota called I Ain't Got Time to Bleed. And they have an ethics act that's very similar to Alaska. There was an ethics act complaint in Minnesota, and the governor got an opinion that it was okay for him to write a book and go on a book tour.
Mm-hmm.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
So there is some precedence. The problem is you have to look at Alaska's law specifically, and you got to look at the current law, which was different than Wally Hickel. The real nut and bolt of this is nobody filed any Ethics Act complaint against Wally Hickel because he wasn't a nationally prominent political figure.
Politics. Let's go to Lori on line 1, 274-5297. The disgusting thing about this, though, it's politics, but it's costing the taxpayers of the state a lot of money. And even if you're not a big fan of the governor, you ought to be pretty disgusted that this is taking time away. You wouldn't believe the people who are being taken away from their jobs in the Department of Law, the Department of Administration, and on and on and on, Department of Labor, looking up for these Freedom of Information Act, these emails and all that they're requesting. It is labor intensive. And but anyways, let's get to Lori. Lori, go ahead.
Hey, I'm not Ben Stevens, and I don't have $5 million for my own defense, and these clowns come out of the woodwork, and you can be charged with anything, and the court system's kind of nuts in Alaska, and they'll get somebody one day when they bring up enough of these charges. I want the state of Alaska to spend some of their own money. You bring up these fly-by-night charges. The ethics were not about this stuff. The ethics were about you selling your ass way too cheap. And we need to take these people to be held accountable, and we need to bring them up for both sides of the legal charges, plus goofy damages.
Yeah,
Stupid to live damages.
Thank you, Lori. I got an email here from Tom. Will Sarah be violating some ethics rule by being in the audience tonight since she was not invited to participate in the state function? Tom writes that. You think she'll have maybe she wore like something I hope she doesn't wear anything tonight that might, I don't know.
Well, and you know what? There's a serious point to that email, and that is these complainants have, by filing these types of frivolous complaints, have undermined the credibility of the process itself. And I do want to remind everybody, the Ethics Act was important. There was real need for it in this state.
Yeah.
And it's valid and appropriate for people to file appropriate complaints. I have no problem with people holding their public officials accountable for real ethics violations. Not for this, though. This is a pure politicization of the process.
Thomas Van Flein, thank you for coming back on at short notice. I appreciate your wisdom on these issues, and again, thank you so much. We'll be right back, folks. Glenn